Tonight's tactical enhancement is some more of the Scotch. Tonight we're playing Warhammer, the old world, 2400 points, and we rolled up some random armies and I had to put together some woodies, and Sean brought his
Big Game Hunter Ogres.
Big Game Hunter Ogres, which I'm sure he's feeling good about.
We're on an expedition, and Captain over there has
Oh yes, here he
told
is.
us of a dragon that needs to be slayed, and the guys, the big game hunters, have come along for a bit of sport.
So yeah, complete with pith helmets.
They want to, shoot him up, cut his head off, and stick it on a wall somewhere, apparently. And he's brought all these little friends. Then we've got 6 units of Ironbreakers, 2 units of 2 Belchers, and 5 regular goblin ogres, 1 4th level mage, some tigers.
4th level mage and the fucking ogres, that'll be interesting.
Well, we'll see how that goes. It's just fire magic and stuff. 2 with banner. They've got a regen banner and a muso, and there's 2 units with of iron guts with. And you
got 4 units of iron guts all up.
2. Everyone's a veteran. The ones with banners have got a gut lord. They've all got gut lords in them, which are like a unit champion. Unit champion or not? All the veterans. Hang on. No, this is the ones with the banners have got veteran and a gut lord.
Right.
And the rest are veterans. Everything is a veteran except this unit, these guys. So I get to re-roll leadership, any leadership test, but not break tests.
All right. And who are these guys with the Spartan kit?
Just regular iron guts. They're just from a different tribe, and I just happen to have lots of units of 3 that are sort of similar.
So is this 6 units of iron guts?
Iron guts, 6 units of 3, iron guts.
6 units of 3 iron guts.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
So they've all got heavy armor, leadership 8, great weapons, weapon skill 3 though, so they're kind of crap.
Okay, so your core then is this unit of 5 and the 2 units of shooters.
Yeah.
Cool, man. And then we got the hunters, who will be very interesting to deal with.
Well, they've all got charm shield, light armor, so they got 5 up save plus a 1 off, maybe 5 up ward save, and they've got sword of might and a harpoon.
Ooh.
And they've also got throwing spears, which is move and shoot, and quick to shoot. But it does one win. The harpoon is cumbersome. If I move, it's -2. They have listed skill 4.
Mm-hmm.
So,
pretty scary.
They're good. I like it.
All right, so this will be a good fight, good stand-up fight. Because with the woodies, I brought a whole bunch of all-rounders, and I was just slapping shit together till I realised I ran out of points, and I hadn't put a treeman in there, and I didn't bother in the end. So as you can see, the general is on a dragon with some stuff to hopefully keep him alive, 4+ ward, and something else. I'll check what that was.
4 ward. Does he have regen?
No, he's just got a 4-up ward, and I think the thing comes with 4+ armor to begin with. On top of that, I've got a level 4 mage who's got elementalism, seems appropriate. Rolled up my spells. Have you rolled up your spells?
I pick my spells. Battle magic. So hammer hand, fireball.
Does battle magic automatically pick its spells?
Yeah, I have to take a lore familiar.
Oh, okay, right.
So it's a magic item. He's got ward save, lore familiar. He's going to get a flying carpet, but I'm not allowed to give heavy monstrous infantry flying carpets.
Right. So I think I gave mine a ward save, a staff to stop him from blowing anything up. Because last time I played a game, I had 2 misfires in 2 games and blew apart a couple of my own units.
Yeah.
Well, I killed a couple of guys anyway. But when those guys are like 38 point fucking things, that's a bit of a problem. And he's got a whole mix of stuff. He's got a ranged killer spell. He's got something that slows down your movement. You can make units disappear and turn up somewhere else, and some other shit.
That's 12 inches he can move in.
That's right. That's the one.
If they haven't moved, they can move. You just put them within 12.
Yep.
They only have to be touching, so you can move them stupid amounts of distance at times.
That's right. Then on top of that, I got 2 units of 10 of the Glade Guard with full command. I don't know why, I just like doing it. And then I've got 2 units of the same things as Scouts with skirmish. I've got 2 units of 12 Dryad as skirmishers. Now that they're stubborn. And I've got this unit of Eternal Guard. I've given them shields, you just can't see it. They're little shields and they've got them hiding under their cloaks. Because they're old school miniatures and I'm not ruining them by putting shields on them. And they've got a character, and they've got a standard bearer, and they've got another character in them. So they'll be there all day until they've been stomped on. And I've got 3 of the Warhawk Riders. So it's a bit more infantry than usual. I didn't take Cav, I didn't take the Treeman, but you know, we'll
see what happens.
It'll be more elf and tree friends.
Yes.
So on that note, we'll do some deployment, and then we will hook a dice and get into turn 1.
Okay.
End of turn 1, and you know what? We actually got the first go. It's been fucking ages since I've had the first go in a game. So I did some shooting and did absolutely nothing to these guys with that lot. They even sat still to shoot straighter. This slot over here managed to get 1 wound off of one of these kitty cats over here. And these guys volley fired at them and did a grand total of 1 wound. So these guys held up the team a little bit, and
4 wounds.
4 wounds off of that unit, so one of them is gone. That's what we needed more of. I decided not to move at this point because I really need the other guys to start moving for me to start thinking of what cunning shit I'm going to do to try and get around them and whatnot.
Well, generally you don't move, so come on.
Well, depends on the army.
Well, this is a movable army, apparently.
Well, it will be hopefully in a minute, but I've got to sort of like wait for you to get close enough for me to start doing shit. Otherwise, I'm just flapping around in the open for no reason.
As you wish.
On that note, we'll go over to the Ogre's turn 1. Ogre's turn 1, and you know what they're doing? The sneaky buggers formed column all over the place, and they're barreling on in 18 fucking inches. Pretty spectacular, I have to say. Closing the distance very quickly. In fact, you might say they're coming right at us.
Zulu doing.
They were more cunning.
I don't know about that.
So the fun and games involve the kiddies coming out to play. So well within charge range, so they'll be able to jump on me next turn. What else? These guys threw some spears and needing 5 to hit, 3 spears, and they actually collected 2 of my skirmishers. That was a bit annoying. Then most of the movement phase was actually, the magic phase was curtailed from my mage being just within 24.
Yeah, because
And then Sean rolled shit.
You rolled well.
I rolled well.
Okay.
And I used the Dispel Scroll, which is just as well because my first 2 dice were crap, to stop the Pillar of Fire being dropped right in front of these guys.
That's your favourite spell too.
Because I've been on the arse end of that with this army before, and it fucking ruined my day. So
I know. Don't worry.
on that note, they're in pretty good position to pounce, and they can even reform because they're veteran before they charge.
No, they can't reform in there. That's drilled. They get to re-roll leadership tests, except for break tests.
You didn't do drilled, okay.
So I can't get drilled. I can't get drilled. If I did, wow, that would be really. You just run forward with your ogres.
Well, I'm glad of that because I think drilled ogres is kind of not really the aesthetic, is it?
Well, it made for exciting games.
Yeah.
I think that yes. I can see it now.
I hope they don't do that with Cathakes. It's the sort of thing they would do in Games Workshop. Try and use a whip them into water. Yeah, we'll have ogres, only they're drilled and disciplined.
Disciplined ogres. Yeah, we'll see. They may actually do a book eventually. That'd be nice.
Cathay? Oh, they are. Definitely. The armies are coming out. And they have ogres loading the artillery with artillery crews, which will make bashing up the artillery with skirmishers hard work.
That's true. That would, because ogres, while they're not weapon skill crazy, they do hit like a ton of bricks. Yes.
Yeah, you throw your 5 Marauder horsemen against that shit and get you clouted.
We have to take a fear test even just to go in sometimes. If you
I forgot about that shit. All right.
Anyway.
Well, on that note, time for me to do some things back to you.
Oh, please.
Woody's turn 2. I moved the general over here, thinking I need to get around the flank, and thinking these guys might still be around and I'd have to chomp on them next turn. I moved the skirmishers up a bit to get within close range, and then I hopped a magic missile from this guy that actually did a fair bit of damage and clobbered a bloke, and then pushed them back so they were fucking long range again. So maybe I didn't need to move these up. Although moving out, this does mean that if he gets shot with magic missiles or something, he basically counts as part of this unit. So they can do look out, sir. But yeah, this unit is down to 1 dude from 3. He passed his panic test.
Yeah, 8, leadership 8. And they got a reroll. That's where the veteran comes in.
Ah, yeah, of course.
So, but if you take, for example, someone wants to scream at you from an undead army and you roll your leadership, and you roll really high, you can re-roll it again. So, you know.
Well, that's useful. I haven't run into that problem yet, but I do remember that from games of Yester Edition, where people would go and blast elite units off the table.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's sort of okay list.
Other things fun things that happened were these guys were enchanted with the magical bulwark thing, so they got a 5+ barrier defended obstacle.
Until your turn.
Yes, until the start of my next turn.
Yes.
So it could be useful if these guys, well, they probably won't get a charge in. I'll have to put it on again, but it will slow down magic missiles. These guys didn't move again because we're still waiting for these guys to commit. Over here, I charged this slot in because they were fucked anyway, and I thought if I do this, you never know. They're boned either way, so you might get some lucky dice rolls. The only luck really was that I didn't get outright massacred, so that was, and they're still there, so I can't complain. This slot, because there was still line of sight through to the other pair of cats that were here, I managed to charge that whole unit in. And they killed the kitties, just because the elves all whiffed and the birdies made up for it. Then they were in a position where it's not great sitting around in front of these guys, especially if they charge. I thought, fuck it, well, we'll overrun into this poor fella here. He can have himself a Hitchcock moment. And we moved up the dryads because we're going to need to have a bit of fight on this flank, I think, and that's the only thing I've got there to do it. Bearing in mind there's a lot bearing down over here, so I've really only got 1 more turn's worth of grace before the shit show starts. Turn 3 is going to get bloody. So I'm chipping away at them, but I'm not doing extensive damage with it. That's about what you'd expect, because I've only put a fairly modest percentage of my army into shooting.
It's poison. It's helped.
Yeah, poison has helped.
Because you would have done a lot less wounds.
Yeah, I can't complain about the dice. They seem to be coming out about right. Even
You're
there.
average. You're rolling average.
You know, I lost the fight. I actually hit twice, and then maybe wounded 1, and then probably lost more in return, and I'd have a worse leadership roll. But you know, if you're fucked anyway, you may as well go down fighting. Anything else interesting, or shall we move on?
Let's move on.
All right, on to Ogre's turn 2. End of Ogre's turn 2, and Sean's being cunning. Damn it.
Am I?
Yeah, I'm going to have to do it back to him. Let's see. Over here, the second unit of kitties charged into this unit. Mangled them. Fortunately, I rolled really well for morale. I'm still there. Actually did a wound to one of them. It was remarkable.
Actually.
The birdies that had overrun into these guys, well, the other two decided they're going to all look after their mate, and they bashed up on the birdies, and the birdies rolled a bit shit, but on the other hand...
you did a wound.
Yeah, another one or two would have been nice. But yeah, the birdies were outclassed when he ganged up all 3, and then they overran. Of course, one of them did a flank charge, so he overran in completely the wrong direction.
That's fine.
He moved his mage to be outside of
24,
so I couldn't dispel, so I did a movement spell here. So move these guys up nice and close. Think about what to do about them. Then he got really funny, and he marched these fuckers around here. Again at 18 inches. So they've got to reform next turn, but then they're going to be all manner of hell. What else? These guys moved in. These guys reformed and moved up. These guys moved to 18, the fuck away from the dragon. And this guy ran away.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'll probably just shoot him.
Yeah.
There's one hiding here behind the building, trying not to get noticed or killed. As for the magic, there was that movement spell. and he cast Fireball.
Killed 6.
Blew away 6 of the
Double
motherfuckers.
6.
Yeah, he rolled a double 6 for the strength 4 hits. I got a wounded 9. I rolled the odds on the armor saves, which is okay, but
that's a lot of wounds. Though.
That's a lot of wounds.
That's a lot to kill 6.
12. You got 2d6 fucking attacks instead of 7. You got 12. Strength 4. Damn. Yeah, right on the odds actually for what actually happened after you rolled up the number of
But the odds
attacks.
are rolling me double 6. But you rolled double 1. I said roll double 6, and you rolled double 1.
Oh, that's for my morale.
Which is good. And then I rolled double 6.
We were kind of arguing that maybe we should, get this whole unit back on a double 1. On that note, that's basically it. So, MSU ogres all over the freaking place. I've lost my first unit now. I have to kill some things just to try and get some back. Look, this flank's in strife, which they would be with what's going after them. I've got to have a think about what to do with these guys because I don't think they're going to chase off that lot. That's going to be interesting. Alright, well, we'll check in at the end of turn 3 for the Wood Elves. It's getting fucking interesting now. Wood Elves turn 3, I think that was. Memory serves.
Yes, it is actually. Turn 3.
This fella came around to position himself for a proper fight. We shuffled the Dryads up a little bit. These guys can't do any rear charges just yet. They've got to reform first. We moved these guys forward to get a little bit of distance from that damn D6 moving template. I'm a bit over 4 inches away. Set up the Dryads so they're more than 6 inches away from the edge of that thing. Tried to dispel it and whiffed the roll. I moved my mage up so he's just within 24 of that fella. And we moved up these guys so they could shoot and try and take out this thing. They dropped 2 wounds on him, but he's still alive.
Just. He had 4 wounds to him and then you say 2.
Oh, no. Now, the mage did some things useful. He put this archer unit with the magical bulwark, so they're a bit protected. They then shot at him and we hopped the windy blast at him and we blew away 2 out of the 3 guys in that unit. And then we put another arrow in him from the characters in that unit because they'd only moved normally. So that wasn't too bad. We're killing some stuff. Not as much as I'd like, as quickly as I'd like, but we're getting there. Over here, well, the Dryads charged in. It was a pretty good charge. Then we did absolutely rat shit in the fight. We did a grand total of 1 wound, and that was in the challenge before the guy that I'd wounded.
No, you didn't do anything in the challenge.
Didn't I?
No, I did.
Oh, you just put that on that guy?
I just put it on the guy. I just put the unit's got 2 wounds.
Yeah, my unit's
got 2 wounds. Yeah, 1 wound only.
So my unit did a grand total of 1 wound. They did nothing back except for the challenge. And that guy smashed that giant and just basically jumped up and down on the Dryad and mangled her into little bits and pieces.
And used her as a toothpick.
Yeah, probably. We had to blow the stubborn thing, so we're stuck in combat. But yeah, I was rather hoping to maybe kill one of them. I've got enough strength for attacks getting hocked at them. I hoped for a bit. I had nothing but bad choices of what to do with this unit. So what I did was reform and get some shots just with the front rank on this guy. He's now down to 1 wound, which isn't bad. We'll see what he does next. He's got choices.
He's going to probably charge the Dryads in the arse.
Yeah, die heroically.
Well, he might, probably. There's a good chance he'll die.
Yeah, it's a good likelihood of that.
Okay.
On that note, we will check in at the end of Ogre's turn 3, and I really expect you to be charging me with more in turn 3, but we'll see how that goes. End of Ogre's turn 3, and Sean's playing a cagey game, which he always does. He charged in here with the sole survivor of a unit who had nothing better to do, and lost without killing anything. That was some pretty shit dice. Fireballed these guys, and
Killed 2.
Killed 2. Wasn't as horrifically painful as last turn. He did make sure that his mage was just outside of 24, so I couldn't stop him.
Yay.
That fucking thing is still there.
And it's going to move soon too.
Yes, it will. You're just so fucking eager for that. That thing is that's a horror show against
Yum.
anything flammable or elf. Now he's got this wounded chap that he's moved over here. I'm not sure why.
He's got 1 wound left.
Yeah, that guy.
You have to deal with him.
I do have to deal with them. It's outside. Everyone's outside the charge arc of the dragon, which is annoying. But
That's what I did in purpose.
yes, I know. I do know this.
Yeah.
These guys decided to about face and walk around here in order to look intimidating to these guys. This bloke came marching out from behind the building. These guys just sort of shuffled around. These guys reformed, so if I charge in, there's a trap. And this unit moved up, shot, missed. Now, it gets interesting over here where... Well, okay, so the Dryads had a fight with this guy who charged in the back. I lost 4 Dryads, but I bumped off an Ogre in the process. And that prick, he's only got one wound left.
And you did a wound, and he's saved.
Oh, yeah, he's lucky to still be there, that fella. I'll try and get him next turn. I've got initiative now, so it's not too bad, even though they are hitting back with some heavy shit. But he didn't roll that well against me.
I rolled lots of 1s to wound.
Yeah, you're all crap.
So 3 1s. I mean, you could be down 3 more Dryads.
Yeah.
Had I just rolled 2+.
Yeah. Look, anyone who's look, swings and roundabouts, because that guy, yeah, maybe he should be dead, maybe not. But the fight goes on. Those of you who have heard me bitch and moan about my dice in multiple games, I can't do that this game.
Your dice aren't special, but they're not
special, but they're not fucking me in the ass today.
No, they've been okay.
And over here, I bumped off a cat on the defensive fire and they were charged in.
Oh,
and then he didn't roll very well against me, so I lost 3. Didn't do anything in the melee.
Well, the cats did nothing.
You know what we forgot to do?
What?
We forgot to count the wounds that I do on the charge in terms of modifying dice rolls.
I still would have won.
I think
you did 3 wounds, standard, impact hits.
So you bumped off 3.
Oh, so I would have lost.
There you go.
Well, you got to remember these things. It can't help you.
Well, we'll work out if that really matters in a second. So I killed 2 wounds on the way in, and
yeah, and you have a standard.
Yeah, and I have a musician. I win on the musician.
Do you have a musician?
Yep.
You take a musician with your standard.
Yeah, I know, it's silly. It's 8th edition through and through, but I did it anyway. We'll work that out. In fact, do it now. Do a morale test. See what happens.
A morale test?
Yeah, you lost the combat. It's hilarious.
Okay, so I lose it by
1.
So my lines on the left with the 1 wound flee.
Fuck.
The guy on the guy, the
Ogre
guy.
Flees. Fuck! He runs.
And the other lines.
6 minus 1. You always count the -1.
Yeah, so, but it's only full backing.
Yeah. So
it's only, you don't outnumber me 2 to 1 because it's the whole thing. So they would just go back. They fall back in good order.
Oh yeah. Of course they don't.
Do you wish to follow up?
I'll have to follow up.
Okay, so my lion.
Actually, no, I won't follow up. It's my bloody turn next.
Roll 2 dice.
No, I'm not following up. I'm just going to sit there and shoot at you.
So that's 12.
That's hilarious.
Well, it's because...
I mean, they'll all rally, but it's still pretty funny.
Nah, he may not rally. He runs 9. Oh. And they go back... They go back 6 inches.
All right.
So
we'll
basically,
we'll stand and shoot at the fuckers next turn.
As you wish. Well,
that's
you're not going to. You're just going to shoot.
Really, not what we. It should go back a little bit further because we would have been there.
And I should be.
Yeah, it moved everything back. But that was.
You got to remember these things.
I should have remembered that earlier.
I actually did forget too.
But that was quite extraordinary
because it's not something from. I haven't played. 2 months.
Very, very unexpected.
No, that's good.
All right. Well.
Only because you have a musician.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Only.
I expected these guys to get slaughtered. I was surprised they were still there.
I should have done 4 or 5 wounds.
Yeah, you should have. It should have been like maybe.
All right.
5 guys falling back. But anyway, that's remarkable. I'm going to take that. That's good luck for me. And
we're going to move the pillar of fire. And make you cry
won't that be funny? In my turn, I'm going to get wounded in my turn by your magic, you bastard. Yeah. Turn 4, I think, for the Woodies. We've moved these guys back. We put the defensive bulwark on these guys again. Then we move them forward because nothing's going their way anyhow. And I did manage to get the dragon out. Failed his fucking morale to march, so he's not quite optimally positioned, but it'll have to do. And we'll see. They'll probably smash these guys for the most part, but we'll find out. What else happened? We moved the dryads up here so we could have a proper fight with these guys. Should be an even fight. I wanted to charge them, but we're so far away it's looking a bit shit. So I march, which is a much more reliable way of getting up close. So they've got nowhere to go. I can charge them next turn if they try and back off. And they won't get any bust if they charge. Polished off that sole surviving asshole over here. Polished off the sole surviving shooter over there. Moved back just out of charge range of these guys here. That thing went through them again and bumped off a few more.
Yum, yum.
3 I think I got. No, maybe 4. Jesus. This is wreaking havoc as you'd expect. And I keep trying to dispel it and it never fucking works.
Well, it's really hard. You got to get really close to them so you can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, well...
I know. It's a pain on the ass.
I'm trying to beat 10 on 2d6. It's not working very well. And of course you've got to do it at the start of the turn, so all you've got to do is move just outside of dispel range every turn, so I don't even bother trying to get in dispel range. Over here. Okay. So last turn the kiddies were chased off. I shot at them. Now I made a bit of a boo-boo because I forgot to move back 2.5 inches before shooting.
I can go in or I can chase the dryads. It's one of the... Oh no, actually I can do both. I can charge
Dryads,
with the guys
they'll
with
flee.
the thing and then charge your...
The other thing that happened is the dryads had a fight and they killed off actually the hunter.
Yes.
And they knocked a wound off of one of these
But
guys.
we've still got one wound left.
There's 1 wound left. And because they're close order and they got a standard, they won the fight by 1.
2.
2. Oh, 2 because I had a regen that
We
saved.
had a region that counted.
And I just rolled shit. I rolled 10 and they scarpered. So they're on the run, and
Man on the run.
there's some skirmishing kitty cats here who are going to go and play with them like a ball of fucking string.
We'll see what happens. I may fuck up completely.
Well, I mean, one can hope.
Yes.
Anyway, on that note, we will...
We will now declare charges.
All right, so it's getting a bit strange, I've got to say.
It's a fun game.
It's hilarious.
I think it's fun.
This thing went right through this unit, but because Sean rolled shit, and the magical bulwark ward thing worked. These guys, using their veteran status for the reroll of the leadership, managed to march right up close to these guys. So they're a bit cagey about that. They're probably not very happy. I'm thinking they're probably not liking that very much at all. Then what happened? I thought they were going to barrel in here with 2 units and smash these guys up, but instead, these guys also passed the morale and ran in the space between the 2 units to get close to these chaps. That was odd. Then this big unit, which I thought was going to charge them, reformed. The mage cast the...
Arcane Urgency.
Yep, and they fucked off over here away from the dragon.
Marching 18 inches. I love it.
Yes, that was... that's a hell of a...
How to conserve points and not get your ass kicked by a dragon. Run away, run away.
Oh, I thought you would have barreled in and slaughtered this unit.
No, well then I would have just get flanked, charged by a dragon and eaten for breakfast.
Well, it's a trade-off I would have
No,
made. But then
why do that when I can just shoot you to death?
Well, yeah, they tried. These guys shot and actually hit and bumped off a bunch of them. I don't have much of that unit left at this point.
You have 2 guys left.
Yeah, pretty much. And then, what else happened?
The
These fellas.
The lions got hungry and 8 people.
Yeah, the lions charged in and ate 4 of that unit. The rest of them just
ran away.
rolled above their leadership and fucked off the table. Or tried to. The lions actually ate them on the way out. And then these guys charged my dryads who had no choice but to flee. And of course they scarpered off the table. That thing kept running. That thing rallied and then fucking shot at me. And that guy shot... So both of these guys shot at the dragon and missed. So that was nice. Then in the melee, these the Dryads actually did pretty well. So they've killed one outright, and there's another one who's hanging on by a bit. There's a dead tie in terms of results because of the standard and close order.
I'm in trouble though. I'm going to lose. If I lose one more wound, you go first. I'll lose a guy, and I'll lose the standard, and I'll lose close order.
Actually, you lose the champion before you lose the standard.
No, standard first.
No,
Champion's always last.
it's changed. That was last edition.
No, it's
I looked this. Oh fuck it, we'll argue about that later.
we can argue about it.
Anyway, so it's a bit of a strange situation, and these guys are going to cause me some real problems. I've lost the right flank, but the left flank is a game of avoidance and me picking shit off. So we'll see what I can do. And on that note, we'll check in at the end of turn 5. Wood Elves. End of Wood Elves turn 5. Right, well, the Dryads polished off the last of those ogres, so something's going right. Unlike anywhere on that half of the table, I'm rolling up a storm in that fight. Although admittedly, my death over here was partly my forgetfulness. Over here, so I first looked at moving as many shooters as I could to try and polish off this unit with massed fire. Didn't work, so it wasn't viable. So I moved here, had to move the unit to make sure I was just outside of 6 inches of these guys so I can shoot when they charge in. But there's not much stopping them from charging in. I got the magical bulwark offering on these folks again. I'll need it in a minute. It's been saving them a little bit against that bloody thing. Only got one.
We only killed one so far, and it's gone through twice.
It has, so you've rolled a bit average there, and I've gotten a couple of 5s that's helped. We shot at that, and then we used the magic missile attack from the mage, bumped off one with an extra wound onto that unit, so it's not complete crap. We can do something on their way in. Probably should have moved these guys back again. I forgot that with the magical bulwark thing, you actually can move, you just can't march.
But you couldn't shoot all your dice at me.
That's true, I would have been 2 dice down. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see whether they're within 5 inches, because they will have to contend with the woods. Now, I'm outside of 24 inches of that guy. Now, the other thing with this fella is I've moved up to try and get some charge arc on him. I don't know if that's going to work. What's probably going to happen is that he's going to do some magical movement and get the fuck away from me.
We'll try.
And I didn't really even do my angles properly. I was supposed to do my angles in such a way that I could bracket him a little bit and have wider charge angles.
If I really need to, I just move. I can march because I'm outside. I'm outside.
No, he's
if
probably
I want
fine.
to, if I really need to get away, I'd march so that I can guarantee.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I don't want to lose.
I stuffed up my efforts of trying to get him in charge arc anyway. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, except to try and keep these guys outside of charge arc of these guys while I advanced in.
This is turn 5, isn't it?
It is.
So it's going to be one more turn for you.
That's right. So we'll see how we go.
It's been good.
What else happened? Bits of shooting, bits of killing.
Rally some stuff.
Yeah, so we'll check in at the end of Ogre's turn 5. Right, turn 5 for the Ogres. Over here they're not doing a lot, except that little fucking bastard rallied. Dearie me. They shot and did nothing. These guys shot and used the reroll and still did nothing. Well, I mean, they hit it, but they didn't wound it. We had a hilarious fight here where the kiddies came in and we both whiffed completely and did nothing to each other.
rolled 6 threes.
I rolled 6 threes.
6 threes and you needed 4s.
That's
and
right.
I rolled 1 hit and failed wound.
Yes.
Out of 4 dice.
These guys charged in. I did shoot, knock a wound or 2 off.
Killed one.
Yeah.
Killed one, right.
So that was alright, but then they bumped off half the fucking unit in the melee, which I suppose is to be expected.
Well, sometimes, I mean, it hasn't always worked.
It hasn't always worked.
I've been rolling 1s to wound a few times, and it's really hurt me.
I've had a few good rounds this game. These guys are still preserving themselves in the dragon, and that bastard, because I got my angles hopelessly useless, and he made sure that he had moved in his basic move away from my mage so I couldn't dispel, and then he used arcane urgency to get the fuck away from this lot, who have managed to do absolutely nothing all game.
Yay.
And because I wasn't thinking things through very well, I didn't even get them with the charge. I I'll have a look, but I don't think so.
No, I don't think you are.
It'd be worth a try if I was, but that's extreme millimetre long shot. What else? Anything else exciting happened? Oh, hang on. Yes.
You killed the guy that charged in with the rampant, earthen rampants are being a pain. Is being a
That's right, because this bloody thing flowed through again, did 2 wounds, and I managed to save them both.
Yeah.
Then the ogre charged in, and there was
You died.
2 at the
You
start.
killed 2, and you killed 1 on the way in. He had 1 wound left.
Yep,
You
and
did 4 wounds or
we
something.
whippersnippered him in the melee.
Mm-hmm.
So that was more than I deserved.
No, it's twice you've done that now. It's been,
Or many times.
You've killed 2 units charging in with that unit.
Yeah, so the problem I've got is that this scary psychopath waltzed on over here
Yeah.
and looking
Yeah.
rather unfavourably at my mage.
Brrr.
So I'll have to have a think about that because he's got a 360-degree charge arc.
Mm.
Anyway, I'll think about what to do about that in just a moment. We go into turn 6 for the Wood Elves.
Okay.
Right, so it's a tight game, end of Wood Elves turn 6. In this fight, the Dryads actually lost one of the number, got pushed back 2 inches, so at least they didn't flee, that was something. Over here we had nothing we could fucking charge, so we hocked some arrows back at this bastard. And at the same time, my mage tried to buff these guys, but Sean made the wild dispel. We then icy blasted this guy and knocked a couple of wounds off. We did some poison arrows.
And you got him down to 1 wound.
Got him down to 1 wound, and these guys hocked a bunch of arrows, made 1 hit, and then didn't quite wound him. So that was unfortunate. These guys bumped off the last of that unit. That was not unexpected at all. Yeah, I don't have a lot left on the table at this point, but it's over to turn 6. And the big question is whether this guy
I'll charge
will
you.
I will. Excellent.
Before we do,
just for character.
We're just to give you a chance.
Oh, here we go. This fucking thing.
This thing.
Yeah,
Here we
yeah.
go. It's moving. Oh, it's automatically
Goes through.
We're not even going to bother. And then it does 4.
4 hits.
And it does
2 wounds.
2 wounds.
And I've got no defense against that now because the bloody bulwark didn't work.
And that'll be.
And we'll check in at the end of this turn.
Yes. You poisoned.
Alright, so it's the end of turn 6 Ogre, so it's the end of the game.
Actually, finished it.
Yeah, we did. It's amazing. Let's see.
It's a bit like fun.
We won the fight here with Dryads, but the little kitty that survived still survives, so I only get 25% points. Unfortunately, that one came back, so I didn't get much for that guy either. These guys, unsurprisingly, bumped off that archer unit. This guy came running on in. We didn't quite kill him with the poison arrows. That was
You did
damn
1
shame.
wound, and I made a save on a 5+.
That's right. That's what it came down
He would
to.
have died.
Or a few hundred points there down the drain.
Well, I thought I'd have a bit of fun.
Look, you didn't have to do it, but damn, it was characterful.
But I was like half a centimeter short of getting into.
Exactly right.
If I rolled double, I had to roll double 4 or better to get in. Fuck that wind blast. Yeah, that saved you because him getting
That's
in.
true. The wind blast pushed you back 2 inches.
Him getting in, it's 2 impact hits.
Yeah, he would have mauled this unit.
He would have
pretty
mauled 1 guy. You got a champion,
good. I have actually.
so you would have
Yeah,
just
would-
killed the
yep.
champion. So, but but you never know. You could
good point.
You could have gone. Oh, I lost combat and
Could have lost
I
by a
fuck
lot
off."
and then scuppered. That's right. If I'd rolled below, I don't know, 8 or 9, whatever
If
this
you rolled
guy's
9,
leadership is.
whatever the mage is, if the mage is 8 or 9,
Yeah.
you could have rolled a 9. And
So that could have been horrific.
So really, that was a silly boob. I mean, you wouldn't do that.
It was characterful.
But I thought I'd do it.
Look, I had a cunning plan that before you just decide you're going to charge in, I was going to rib you endlessly about your cowardice if you hadn't.
Yeah.
But no, that was mighty heroic, and
I almost died too.
I know.
Hilarious.
But where it turned to shit is over here, where this unit copped it.
Yes.
I was hoping the characters would absorb enough hits that the Eternal Guard might have 1 survivor, but no, they're dead. So that's 360 odd points.
And they did nothing.
And they did nothing. And then the hero, who's about 114 or something, just whiffed a bunch of 3+ dice rolls. And he only had to make 2 3+ dice rolls, and he fucking failed them both.
No, I did a few wounds on him. He's made quite a few earlier.
Oh, he made a couple earlier,
'Cause,
but
he's
but he also lost one earlier. That's what set him up to get
Yeah,
whacked now.
he lost one just prior, and then he failed the one that he didn't.
Yeah. So that was unfortunate, but that's where it switched because the difference in points is 814 dead ogres versus 1204 dead wood elf, and the difference is almost entirely in that unit there. The Eternal Guard and the hero in it, which you spend all day avoiding. But your 6 turns worth of slowly whittling away at them finally did their job.
Yep, that's why it's important to get your full game in, because sometimes it can change games if you don't get your full. And this is.
I know we have a lot of games against some of our friends who are maybe a little bit slower on throwing dice around. There's a lot more talk going on and decision making. And we get through maybe 3 to 4 turns. And it's always interesting to see what could have happened. Although usually it's a school night and I'm knackered and I'm playing very badly anyway.
Not tonight.
No, tonight was a very interesting game. So, now that we've established the result, what have we learned?
Poison is... Oh my god. Yeah, it was... stick your mage in the middle so you can get close to and move them, and maybe move it up so you can counter that bloody fiery blast. Might have been a better move. Might have been.
Your fireball, if I'd advanced up the guts, you reckon?
If you put your mage in the Eternal Guard, I think. I mean, it's in hindsight. I'm talking.
Yeah, you would have played a different game if I'd done that, though.
I don't know what I would have done, but I knew that I had to get away from your mage, so I could cast.
My mage, in conjunction with this unit here, massacred most of those 800 points. Probably cleared about 600 of them.
And I don't think you positioned your dragon that great. Sorry,
I was being too careful with him too early on.
Just fly him up the guts. I mean, you might.
Although
take a
that
couple
said,
of
I came out on the second turn. I was lining up to charge on the third, and you started running away all over the place.
Damn straight. This is the ogre avoidance wood elf list.
Yeah, it's pretty clever actually.
This whole list is designed to run away when I need to, and get together. And that's. I don't know if it's the best way to play it, but I don't know.
Oh, well, look, it won.
It was fun.
Admittedly, I lost a unit because I didn't fall back with it to get out of charge range. That did hurt. I could have bumped off a couple more things before you probably would have got him eventually.
The lions.
The lions were really good.
They were really good. But can you see how the difference in one weapon skill, plus one weapon skill 4 to 3, makes a huge difference?
Yeah, and I'm wondering whether I should have taken units of 5 instead of 10.
Oh, for your elves?
Yeah, certainly for the...
3, maybe 3 units of 50 or 5. You are susceptible to dying from like fireball.
Everything.
And you're gone.
And this hilarious thing, which did horrible things to the Eternal Guard, and then next to nothing to this unit.
Oh, that was funny. How many times did it go through? 5 times, and it killed maybe 4 guys.
Yeah.
Well, remember the last game we did this? It went through everything and killed so much.
Yeah, massive. Well,
whole unit.
This thing spent the first half of the game doing lots of damage, and the second half of the game doing very little. And you know what? I tried to dispel it every single fucking turn, and that's 5 goes in a row, and it's still there.
You've got to be within range of the mage. And again, this is where you need to have your mage.
Well, look, this list I took was just slapped together.
Yeah, I know.
I could have taken 2 level 2s. Kept one outside of 24 of your mage, and had the other one running up there as a caddy.
That would have helped, especially for dispelling that. So you would have needed a 7.
See, a level 1 mage is not that expensive. Use it as a dispel caddy. That could have helped.
I don't think it's level 1 is worth taking.
Well, you only get the one spell. Level 2 for 35 points is probably worth doing.
I think it's just go level 4. It's just don't muck around with. That's my opinion.
Look, normally, even in the old version of the game, I used to take a level 4 if I was going to bother with magic. But I think maybe having a level 1 or a 2 just to do some clever things, and then be a dispel caddy might be useful as well.
All right.
Just thinking aloud, it may not work.
I just, if you use a level 1, you've got to keep them out of range of any bigger mages so that you can successfully get what little spells.
Yeah, otherwise you won't be casting too well.
Otherwise, you just don't get anything off, and you're a little bit better at dispelling. But see, I use dwarfs, so I know what it's like when you have a level 1 for dispelling, and
It's pretty crap.
it's useless. Yeah, sure, you get +1, but often when you cast spells and you roll, it's like 11. You still need to roll 10s, 11s, and 12s to dispel something, and occasionally it happens, but.
Yeah, I think the rune of spell breaking is probably more useful.
Yeah. And that's very. But you got to be in range, and again, it's level 1 and 2s that have only an 18-inch range of being able to. They have to be within range of the mage casting the spell to use it.
Well, that's true. That's why you put them in the main battle line and mark them up.
So, I've tried that with dwarves. It's not being. Yeah, dwarves.
Look, to be honest with you, I never really rely on a runesmith to do his job properly. But I include him just so you got the option, and it's characterful.
He also has gives his unit Fireforge and another armor bane or
something of that nature.
And so it's actually not too terrible.
He gets a couple of wallops with his big hammer.
Gets 2 hits. Not overly expensive. Gives that +1. So when you are dispelling and if they're shooting missiles at you. Or something, it's -1 for their magic resistance, and then you get +1 for them. So,
this game was so close to being a tie before a couple of things just fell apart at the last second.
Yes.
I can't complain about my dice.
No, your dice were pretty okay. Towards the end, you were like, "What the fuck?"
Toward the end, they fell apart, but I had a few moments earlier on in the game where they did very well. So, swings and roundabouts.
It was fine. You didn't do anything out of the ordinary.
In terms of tactics, what do you think worked or didn't work for the Woodies?
You split your forces again, and you didn't use your dragon. It's like I said to you last time.
I mean, you went to great lengths to make sure I didn't use the dragon, but I needed to get them in there more aggressively.
There's a lot of points.
Yeah.
Look at the threat. If you get down to 3 wounds, then fuck off. You've got 9 wounds.
True.
And what's your save? You've got what do you got? 4 armor.
4+ and a 4+.
Okay, so your armor's okay. Yeah. So the hunters can kill you.
I wasn't too worried about the hunters because they're on the other side of the table. I think I waited a turn too long before getting into the thick of it. I should have moved him around up here.
Well, the first turn you did.
On the first turn?
So
that was the problem.
You need to, but then you probably...
Then I would have been barreling up here instead of being a turn late, while I still had my other forces in greater
You were
strength.
expecting me to do things, I think, like move up and charge in, which I didn't.
Yeah, the thing that got me by surprise was... So I thought I was waiting for you to come in where I could pick my moment to attack, because that's worked very well in the past. But rather you picked your moment to fuck off, which the only time I've ever really seen that you did that before was with the dwarves when they did that fallback thing when they rout over the top of each other. And yes, it's vexing when you've got your king hitter doing that.
This is part of the way. So it's a good video to watch. So it's one of the ways of winning the game is by running away. It's not a fighting, choosing what you fight. So I could have fought the dragon. Maybe I had Ogre Blade, by the way, in my general. Yeah. But
it's a funny thing. Both of our generals didn't fight. Your general's not cheap. The unit he was in was not cheap.
About 200 points is not terrible, but he had a magic. I have regen. I have a Spangle Shard, which is, as you saw, was good for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And armor is kind of lousy.
He would have been alright in a fight, but not. I mean, obviously, no one knew he was powerful, but his unit was powerful.
Yeah, the problem is with dragons, it's a stomp. Even if it's toughness 5, I mean, you just go in there. Now let's get the charge off.
I thought you were going to double team me with 2 units, including your general.
But then you just challenged me out.
Can do.
I get 2 close order. You get.
I had thought about
I get a standard. I get.
I was going to try and get this guy in there. The Eternal Guard use their champion to issue a challenge.
Yeah, well, that's why they play like I do. So I bug, and you saw. And that single round of shooting with your stupid bloody wind blast nearly killed me outright. And then poison
poison is very hard on ogres. It's very,
It is. Look, ogres are an interesting matchup because you can actually hurt the motherfuckers. Where a lot of armies you go up against, and they've just got so many bloody things that they're doing.
Oh my goblins! Like, so you shoot goblins. It's like
Nobody cares.
it's like I've killed 9 goblins, and you go, yeah, well, there's another 200 left on the board.
Yeah, exactly
It's
right.
like, so who's my Andrew, who plays the high elves? He goes, I hate shooting your goblins. It's not fair.
It soils
Who
my
cares?
perfectly good arrows.
And it's like I'm shooting at goblins, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I noticed
Because
that.
I have so many of them.
But in terms of matchups, they're pretty hard to go against. Although I'm going to have a horde army once I've done the Empire. We'll see how that
Well,
works.
you can play my goblins. I'll take a goblin army next time. I promise you.
Well, you tell me what you want to fight against.
Oh, whatever. I mean, not Zinch. I have enough of you, Zinch.
Well, you beat them. I mean,
Yeah, that's the problem. I beat them. I don't want to play them anymore. Because they're. Yeah,
Well, Zinches there look pretty.
They are very pretty, actually. I'm still going to nag you about bloody doing a mix. One day you will do a mixed chaos horde, and it'll be murder.
Yeah.
You'll have some juggernauts, and you'll have some unclean ones, and
Oh, I don't have any of those. Thank fuck. Well, look, there are many more things we could say about this. It was an enjoyable game, even though the arse fell out at the end with the points. Because up till then, it was a very fucking even game.
It was. Yes, it was very close. I think Eternal Guard, you've got
Those
to.
horrible bastards.
Eternal Guard's probably not the best unit.
No, they're not.
If you took all shooting, I would have.
But they didn't. Well,
If you took all shooting, then I just charge forward because I'm not afraid.
Part of the reason that I took the army that I did was because I had some family things happen that meant I didn't get time to actually work out a proper army.
Yeah, true.
So by the time I was making an army list, I knew what your army was, and I thought, oh, well, I can't go all cheese about stuff that's just going to kill ogres. So I put together something which was just fun to look at and fun to play with. It's a bit of an all-rounder, all sorts of different things.
Ogres aren't a very good army. They're very tough.
Ogres
the
are one
one
of
I play
those...
is shits and giggles.
Yeah, it wasn't anywhere near as batshit crazy as some of those lists have been throwing against me lately.
Yes. But the problem is I'm playing lists where I need to take batshit crazy lists just to compete.
Because you go into tournaments with them.
Or just go and play at a game, and some of the lists that people are taking are like, oh my god.
This is why I'm a bit edgy about going into the tournaments. And it used to be you go to a tournament and you take whichever army you want and you basically work in 8th edition.
No, I found if I played a good army, I'd do very well. I take Dark Elves, which was the top tier at one stage, along with Vampires.
I'll just turn up with my dwarves at the local tournament, 12 to 16 players, and then become second or third.
Well, I did win a GT with dwarves.
Well, that was before 8th edition, wasn't it?
No, it was probably the last GT they held. I don't know if that was 7th or 8th.
Okay.
I beat Clint. That was fun. He kept rolling really high, and then he failed his morale and ran off the table.
Yeah.
I said, well, that'll teach you to have high.
Because this game is much more tactical and much less forgiving than 8th edition was.
This is correct.
And I don't really have the time to dedicate to refining one army to be really, really effective.
No, you find you take.
I take different shit all the time, and I play different game systems.
That's what. Well, you see what I do. I take a lot of different stuff. I don't know. I don't know what you would take against ogres. I don't know what you take. Yeah, Wild Riders are pretty good, aren't they?
I don't have any, but look, this army is very old, and I'm
Yes.
probably not going to add anything to it because I've got other new armies I'm collecting.
Well,
So that limits selection. But I think it used to be I could take whatever I wanted to take and find a way to make it work. In this version of the game, I take what I want to take, and it's a bit harder to make it work. But if you're not precious about winning or losing, then it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'd like to do a tournament one day with an army that I'm vaguely competent with, but I suspect I won't rank very highly.
Oh well, I don't. I keep taking. I'll take it. If I take it, even I took that tough army, but then I'm facing people with dragon or oh Jesus. I'll place Gunay. Gunay's a good player. Andrew's a good player. Well, he has a good army. He has a nasty high elf list.
Aren't they all the high elves?
Well, they take a Star Dragon. It's like,
On that note, it's very, very late. We better pack it in.
yeah.
Thanks very much for watching. Feel free to hit like, subscribe, do make a comment. It's always worth having a bit of a yarn, seeing what people think of things. But for now, it is definitely time to call it a night.